You left the light on in the hallway when you walked out of the door. Like a part of you was hoping you'd be coming back once more. I was standing in the silence with your perfume in the air, and I wondered if you knew how much of you was still there. You had folded up your sweater, left it lying on the chair, like you never really wanted to admit that you weren't there. And the coffee in the kitchen was still warm beside the sink. I was holding on to memories you were trying not to think. You could have turned around, you could have called my name, but you kept walking forward like a love or something you couldn't face. You left the light on, but you never came back home. You left me with the feeling that I wasn't meant to be alone. You left the light on like a promise in the dark, and I'm still trying to understand how you could leave my heart. You left the light on when you said you had to go. Maybe you wanted me to follow, maybe you wanted me to know that sometimes love can disappear without a final word. You left the light on, but you never came back home. I remember all the mornings when you woke me with a smile. You would lay there next to me and make the world feel worthwhile. You said nothing lasts forever, but you held me like it would, and I believed every promise, even when I knew I shouldn't. Then one night you became distant, like the warmth had left your eyes. You were sitting right beside me, but I felt you saying goodbye. I reached for your hand slowly, but you pulled it out of mine, and I knew that something changed, though you never drew the line. You could have turned around, you could have called my name, but you kept walking forward like love was something you couldn't face. You left the light on, but you never came back home. You left me with the feeling that I wasn't meant to be alone. You left the light on like a promise in the dark, and I'm still trying to understand how you could leave my heart. You left the light on when you said you had to go. Maybe you wanted me to follow, maybe you wanted me to know that sometimes love can disappear without a final word. You left the light on, but you never came back home. was asking too much. Maybe love became a burden when I only needed your touch. Maybe you still see that hallway when you're lying there alone. Maybe somewhere in your heart you still remember coming home. And if you ever miss me, if you ever wonder why, just remember that the light was still on the night you said goodbye. I was waiting in the doorway, hoping you would change your mind. But some people leave the moment they realize love takes time. You left the light on. You were lying on my shoulder while the city faded out, and I wondered if you knew what my silence was about. You were tracing little circles on the back of my hand, like you wanted me to hold you, but you couldn't understand how a moment could feel endless, how a touch could feel so deep, how the words we never spoke could be the ones we couldn't keep. You were breathing next to me, but your heart was somewhere else, and I knew that I was losing you before you left yourself. There was something in between us, something neither one could name. We were standing in the middle of a fire, afraid of flame. It was the space between us where I thought we'd meet someday, where your heart could finally open and you'd never walk away. It was a space between us where I kept believing still that the love we never started was a love we always will. It was a space between us that kept pulling me inside. You were close enough to touch me, but too far away to stay. And I spent so many nights wondering what we could have been in the space between us, where our story never began. I remember Sunday morning when the sunlight filled the room. You were standing by the curtains like you knew you'd leave me soon. You were talking about your future like my name was never there, but the sadness in your voice told me you were fighting scared. I could have asked you to stay, I could have told you how I felt, but sometimes love gets complicated when you're afraid of losing yourself. So I watched watched you take your jacket, I watched you reach for the door, and the space between us widened like it never had before. There was something in between us, something neither one could name. We were standing in the middle of a fire afraid of flame. It was a space between us where I thought we'd meet someday, where your heart could finally open and you'd never walk away. It was a space between us where I kept believing still that the love we never started was a love we always will. It was the space between us that kept pulling me inside. You were close enough to touch me, but too far away to stay. And I spent so many nights wondering what we could have been in the space between us, where our story never began. No goodbye. Maybe I would say I love you and you'd finally say it right. But we were young, or maybe broken, or maybe love was just too much. And now the only thing between us is the memory of your touch. Kept pulling me inside. You were close enough to touch me, but too far away to stay. And I spent so many nights wondering what we could have been in the space between us, where our story never begins. Lovers, maybe we were almost home. Maybe we were almost something, but we were never truly known. Maybe you still think about me when the night gets quiet too. Maybe somewhere in the silence there's still a space for me and you. standing by the window with your shadow on the wall, saying nothing like the silence was the loudest thing of all. I could feel you getting closer, then you slowly stepped away, like you had 1,000 reasons not to tell me what you'd say. There was something in your breathing, something trembling in your hands, like you wanted me to hold you, but you couldn't let me in. And I saw it in your eyes when you looked at me that night. You were trying not to love me, but you couldn't make it right. Maybe we were one confession from a different kind of life. Maybe if you'd stayed a moment, you'd have never said goodbye. It's the way you almost loved me, like your heart was calling mine, like you wanted to surrender, but you left it all behind. It's the way you almost held me, then you let me disappear. Now I'm living with the feeling of the love that wasn't here. It's the way you almost loved me that I can't forget tonight. You were standing right beside me, but you never crossed the line. I remember how you whispered that you didn't know what to do. You said love could be a prison if you gave your heart too soon. I told you I wasn't asking for a promise or a name. I just wanted you to tell me if you felt the same. But you turned your face toward midnight and you stared into the rain, like the sky outside the window could wash away the pain. I reached out but stopped myself when I saw you closing down. Somewhere between us was a feeling we were both afraid to sound. Maybe we were one confession from a different kind of life. Maybe if you'd stayed a moment, you'd have never said goodbye. It's the way you almost loved me, like your heart was calling mine, like you wanted to surrender, but you left it all behind. It's the way you almost held me, then you let me disappear. Now I'm living with the feeling of the love that wasn't here. It's the way you almost loved me that I can't forget tonight. You were standing right beside me, but you never crossed the line. If you had stayed, would I have known you? If I had asked, would you have told me? Was I the one you were afraid of? Or was it love you couldn't hold? Now every night I hear the silence of all the words we never said, and every dream still leaves me wondering what would have happened if you stayed. It's the way you almost loved but you left it all behind. It's the way you almost held me, like you never wanted tears. Now I'm holding on to pieces of a love that disappeared. It's the way you almost love me, still it echoes in my soul. You were standing right beside me, but you never let me know. It's the way you almost love me that still keeps me awake. All the things we could have been, all the chances that we gave. It's the way you almost love me, and I wish you would have stayed just a little longer, baby, just before you walk. You were almost here, you were almost mine, but almost isn't love, and love can't live on almost. You were sitting on the sofa with your hands around your glass, looking like you knew the moment wasn't meant to last. I could hear the clock behind us moving slowly through the room, and the space between our bodies felt like something coming soon. You were looking at my lips, then you looked away, like it was something you wanted, but you didn't know how to say. I could feel your hesitation like a shadow on your skin. You were standing at the doorway of a love you wouldn't let in. If you had stayed a little longer, if you trusted what you felt, maybe we could have found forever in the moment that we held. Before you let me go, I saw the love inside your eyes. You were trying to hide it, but I knew you couldn't lie. Before you walked away, I felt your fingers touching mine, like you wanted to stay forever, but you left me one more time. Before you let me go, there was something we both knew. You were scared of falling deeper, so you chose to make it through. Now I'm left here wondering if you ever think of me. Before you let me go, was I almost what you need? You were talking about tomorrow, like I wouldn't be around, but the sadness in your voice was the only truth I found. You said maybe we were different, maybe timing wasn't right, but your eyes kept telling stories that you couldn't say that night. I remember how you held me for a second in the rain, like you wanted to remember how it felt to feel this way. you slowly pulled away, and you whispered my name, like you knew that walking from me would never feel the same. If you had stayed a little longer, if you trusted what you felt, maybe we could have found forever in the moment that we held. Before you let me go, I saw the love inside your eyes. You were trying to hide it, but I knew you couldn't lie. Before you walked away, I felt your fingers touching mine, like you wanted to stay forever, but you left me one more time. Before you let me go, there was something we both knew. You were scared of falling deeper, so you chose to make it through. Now I'm left here wondering if you ever think of me. Before you let me go, was I almost what you need? Just a moment you were never meant to keep. Maybe I was just the secret that you carried in your sleep. Maybe somewhere in another life you would have chosen me. Maybe you would have stayed that night and we would have been free. But I still remember the way you looked at me, like you wanted to say, don't let me leave. Before you let me go, I saw the love inside your eyes. You were trying to hide it, but I knew you couldn't lie. Before you walked away, I felt your fingers touching mine, like you wanted to stay forever, but you left me one more time. Before you let me go, there was something we both knew. You were scared of falling deeper, so you chose to make it through. And now I'm left here wondering if you ever think of me. Before you let me go, was I almost what you need? Before you let me go, did you ever want to stay? Did you ever see a future before you turned away? I remember the way you looked at me that evening by the door, like you wanted to say something you never said before. There was rain against the window and the room was turning cold, but the warmth inside your eyes was the only thing I knew. You were standing there so quietly, with your fingers on your coat, and I knew that you were leaving, even though you never spoke. I wanted to reach for you, but I couldn't make a sound. So I watched you take a breath and slowly slowly turn around. Maybe love was in the moment, maybe we were just too late. Maybe all the things we wanted were standing right there in our way. It was the way you looked at me, like you wanted me to stay, like you needed me to hold you, but you couldn't ask me to. It was the way you looked at me before you turned away, like 1,000 words were hiding in the tears you couldn't show. It was the way you looked at me that I still remember now. You were standing right beside me, but I couldn't reach you somehow. It was the way you looked at me, like you loved me one last time, before you walked into the darkness and left your heart behind. I remember how you told me that you never wanted pain. You said every time you loved someone, you ended up the same. So I promised I would never give you reasons to regret, but I guess the things we promise aren't the things we can protect. You would hold me in the morning, then disappear by night, like you couldn't make your heart decide if this was wrong or right. And I spent so many evenings trying to understand why the person who was closest was the one I couldn't hold. Maybe love was in the moment, maybe we were just too late. Maybe all the things we wanted were standing right there in our way. It was the way you looked at me, like you wanted me to stay, like you needed me to hold you, but you couldn't ask me to. It was the way you looked at me before you turned away, like 1,000 words were hiding in the tears you couldn't show. It was the way you looked at me that I still remember now. You were standing right beside me, but I couldn't reach you somehow. It was the way you looked at me, like you loved me one last time, before you walked into the darkness and left your heart behind. That night again, I'd ask you to stay, I'd ask where you'd been. I'd tell you the truth, I was scared too. I was afraid of losing someone like you. Maybe if we'd been honest, maybe if we'd let it show, maybe all the love between us wouldn't have had to go. But you kept your heart protected, and I kept mine locked away. Two people holding on to love while letting love escape. It was the way you looked at were standing in the hallway with your jacket in your hands, and the look upon your face said you were leaving like you planned. I was waiting for an answer to a question I never asked. You were looking at the doorway like you couldn't face the past. There was silence in the room, but I heard everything, every breath you tried to hide, every word you couldn't bring. You were only one step closer to the life you said you knew, but the way you looked behind you made me think you wanted to. Maybe we were both too frightened to admit what this could be. Maybe you were scared of losing what you never let yourself keep. You never said goodbye, you just slowly disappeared. Left the door a little open, like you wanted me to wait here. You never said goodbye, you just turned and walked away. But the love inside your silence is still calling out my name. You never said goodbye, and I still don't know why. If you never really loved me, why were tears inside your eyes? You never said goodbye, you just left me with the truth that sometimes people lose each other while they're still in love. I remember all the evenings when you stayed until the dawn, talking about the things you wanted and the places you'd be gone. You would tell me about your childhood and the dreams you kept inside. Then you'd fall asleep beside me like there was nowhere else to hide. I could feel your heartbeat racing when I'd hold you in the dark. You were always getting closer, then you'd suddenly pull apart, like your heart was saying stay while your mind was saying run. And I never knew which voice would be the one you'd follow. Maybe we were both too frightened to admit what this could be. Maybe you were scared of losing what you never let yourself keep. You never said goodbye, you just slowly disappeared. Left the door a little open, like you wanted me to wait here. You never said goodbye, you just turned and walked away. But the love inside your silence is still calling out my name. You never said goodbye, and I still don't know why. If you never really loved me, why were tears inside your eyes? You never said goodbye, you just left me with the truth that sometimes people lose each other while they're still in love. I would have stayed, I would have waited, If you had told me you needed time, I would have given you all of mine. But you said nothing, and I said nothing. We let the silence decide our lives. Now every night I hear your footsteps in every room where you once stood. And sometimes I still turn around thinking you came back, like I knew you would. You never said goodbye, you just slowly disappeared. Left the door a little open, like you wanted me to wait here. You never said goodbye, you just turned and walked away. But the love inside your silence is still calling out my name. You never said goodbye, and I still don't know why. If you never really loved me, why were tears inside your eyes? You never said goodbye, you just left me with the truth. But sometimes people lose each other while they're still in love. You never said goodbye, so a part of me still waits for the sound of your footsteps. I remember how you used to say my name like it was home. You would call me in the evening just to tell me you were alone. We would talk until the sunrise about dreams we'd never chase, and I'd listen to your heartbeat while you slowly fell asleep. You were always next to me, but somehow I knew you'd leave. There was something in your silence that you never let me see. Still I held on to the feeling, like a fool afraid to lose every little piece of heaven that I found inside of you. We were young enough to dream, but too afraid to make it real. And I wonder if you remember how it felt to feel when we were something, before we became strangers, before your touch became a memory and your voice became a distant sound. When we were something, before you stopped believing, before the love between us turned into a ghost we couldn't hold. When we were something, I thought we'd never end. I thought I'd always know you, I thought you'd always be my friend. But somewhere in the silence, we lost what we once knew. And now I only remember the person I was with you. I still pass the little corner where we used to meet at night, where you'd smile across the table underneath the yellow lights. You would tell me all your secrets, I would promise they were safe. Now I wonder if you miss me when those memories awake. There were times I almost told you that I couldn't let you go, but I thought that if I said it, you would turn and disappear. So I kept my heart in silence while you slowly drifted away. And the words I never told you are the ones I hear today. We were young enough to dream, but too afraid to make it real. And I wonder if you remember how it felt to feel when we were something before we became strangers, before your touch became a memory and your voice became a distant sound. When we were something before you stopped believing, before the love between us turned into a ghost we couldn't hold. When we were something I thought we'd never end. I thought I'd always know you. I thought you'd always be my friend. But somewhere in the silence we lost what we once knew. And now I only remember the person I was with you. The kind of story that would make it to the end. Maybe we were just a moment that was beautiful enough to remind us both that sometimes almost love can still be love. If I saw you now, would you remember me? Would you see the person you once wanted me to be? Or would you walk right past me like we never shared a thing? Like the nights we spent together were just dreams we couldn't keep. When we were something before we became strangers, before your touch became a memory and your voice became a distant sound. When we were something before you stopped believing, before the love between us turned into a ghost we couldn't hold. When we were something I thought we'd never end. I thought I'd always know you. I thought you'd always be my friend. But somewhere in the silence we lost what we once knew. And now I only remember the person I was with you. When we were something, I still remember your face. I still remember how it felt when you were standing. You were standing by the front door with your keys between your hands, and I knew by the way you looked at me, you didn't understand how a love could feel so heavy when we never made it real. How two people could be closer than they ever dared to feel. You were staring at the floor like the words were hard to find, and I wanted to say I love you, but I swallowed every line. You were waiting for a reason to believe that I would stay, but I think we both were frightened of the price we'd have to pay. If you had stayed a little longer, you'd put your fears aside, maybe all the things we wanted would have finally come alive. If you stayed tonight, would you finally let me hold you? Would you tell me all the secrets that you always kept inside? If you stayed tonight, would you let your heart surrender? Would you stop pretending that you never needed mine? If you stayed tonight, maybe we could find forever in the space between the words we were always too afraid to say. If you stayed tonight, maybe love would have a chance, but you turned around and left me before we ever got the chance. I remember all the evenings when you called me just to talk. You would tell me about your problems while you walked around the block. You said I was the only person who could ever calm your mind, but whenever I got closer, you would leave me far behind. You were always almost with me, almost mine and almost gone, like a song without an ending, like a night without the dawn. And I spend my days believing that someday you'd finally see that the person you were running from was the person you needed. If you had stayed a little longer, if you put your fears aside, maybe all the things we wanted would have finally come alive. If you stayed tonight, would you finally let me hold you? Would you tell me all the secrets that you to share, with your hands between your knees and your eyes looking somewhere. I could feel the distance growing, and though you never moved away, there were words behind your silence that you couldn't bring yourself to say. You were looking at the ceiling like the answers were up there, and I wanted to reach for you, but I didn't know if you still cared. So I waited in the quiet for a truth I knew would hurt. But the hardest thing about losing you was hearing nothing first. Maybe you were trying to protect me, maybe you were scared of what I'd hear, but every word you left unspoken was the reason you disappeared. It was the words you never said that keep me awake at night, all the things you kept inside that you couldn't make me understand. It was the words you never said that I still hear in my head. Every I love you, you swallowed every please don't leave you never said. It was the words you never said that made the silence feel so loud. You were standing right beside me, but your heart was somewhere else, and I would have stayed forever if you'd only let me know. But you left me with the questions and the words you never said. I remember when you told me that you didn't want to hurt me. You said sometimes loving someone means you have to set them free. But I never understood it till I watched you walk away. Because letting go of someone doesn't mean the love will fade. You were crying in the hallway, but you try to hide your tears, and I knew that you were hurting just as much as I was then. I wanted you to tell me that you didn't want to leave, but you turned your face away and took the last thing I believed. Maybe you were trying to protect me, maybe you were scared of what I'd hear, but every word you left unspoken was the reason you disappeared. It was the words you never said that keep me awake at night, all the things you kept inside that you couldn't make me understand. It was the words you never said that I still hear in my head. Every I love you, you swallowed every please don't leave you never said. It was the words you never said that made the silence feel so loud. You were standing right beside me, but your heart was somewhere else, and I would have stayed forever if you'd only let me know. But you left me with the questions and the words you never said. It was the words you never said that keep me awake at night. All the things you kept inside that you couldn't make me understand. It was the words you never said that I still hear in my head. Every I love you, you swallowed every please don't leave you never said. It was the words you never said that made the silence feel so loud. You were standing right beside me, but your heart was somewhere else. The last time you held me, you didn't say a word. You just stayed there beside me, like silence couldn't hurt. I could feel your heart beating against my chest that night, and I wished I could stop time before you said goodbye. You were looking out the window at the lights across the street, and I wondered what you saw there when you weren't looking at me. Maybe you saw a future where I wasn't by your side. Maybe you were already leaving long before that night. I should have held you tighter, I should have asked you to stay, but something in your silence told me you'd already made your way. The last time you held me, I thought we'd have another night. I thought tomorrow would bring you back. I thought we'd make it right. The last time you held me, I didn't know it was the end. I was holding on to someone who was already letting go again. The last time you held me, I still felt your love inside. Maybe that's what hurts the most. You were leaving while you cried. The last time you held me, I wish I'd known what I know now. I would have stayed there in your arms and never let you down. I remember how you whispered that you didn't want to fight. You said maybe we were tired, maybe love had lost its light. But I could hear the hesitation in every word you tried to say, like a part of you was hoping I would find a reason for you to stay. I reached for your hand slowly, but you didn't reach for mine. And the distance between our fingers felt like the end of our lives. You stood there by the doorway with your eyes upon the floor, and I knew that if you left then you wouldn't come back anymore. I should have held you tighter, I should have asked you to stay, but something in your silence told me you'd already made your way. The last time you held me, I thought we'd have another night. I thought tomorrow would bring you back. I thought we'd make it right. The last time you held me, I didn't know it was the end. I was holding on to someone who was already letting go again. you I was sorry for every time I made you cry. I tell you I still loved you. I tell you I was afraid. I tell you that the future wasn't worth what we had made. Maybe you would have stayed. Maybe you would have gone. Maybe nothing would have changed. Maybe I was wrong. But I would have said the words that I was too afraid to say. I would have told you I loved you before you walked away. Now every time I close my eyes, I feel you in my arms, and I keep reliving that